Hello, Michael Tillinger. Welcome back to another frequently asked questions session. And in this video, we deal with the following question. Is this a lawless society? Who's going to make the rules? Is this a lawless society? Who is going to make the rules? Now, once again, try and answer this question yourself. Look at the fundamentals. What are we doing? We're building a united community of cooperation, collaboration, where we set up many businesses that we are the owners of, the co-owners of. How can this possibly be a lawless society? Keep in mind that we are not creating intentional communities that are trying to hide or trying to work outside of the system. In fact, we're doing completely the opposite. We are using the tools of enslavement as tools of liberation. We are using the system. We are using money. First of all, using money as the primary tool of enslavement. So we're using investment opportunities and successful businesses to generate as much money as we can for our community. So we can then use that money to create a foundation in which we no longer need to use money, while we have a constant flow of money into our community. So that's the foundation that we're creating. With that come businesses of all kinds of diversity. So we're not hiding or trying to create something outside of the current system. Keep in mind that we cannot beat the system. We cannot fight the system. The moment we start to fight the system or try and beat the system, we will lose. And this is what people have been trying to do for hundreds of years, possibly thousands of years. We don't know what the enlightened people thousands of years ago were doing, trying to stand up against the oppressive regime and governments who were enslaving the people exactly the same way we're being enslaved through the socio-economic system, the economic slavery system, and the central banks and our governments. This is nothing new. This has been going on for hundreds, probably thousands of years. So now people have been rising up against their governments, but we know that nothing has ever worked. They've never been able to escape the slavery that is imposed on global communities and the different countries to their leaders. So we're not fighting the system. What we are doing is we're using the tools of enslavement to create a foundation that will create a whole new structure by using those tools, whether it's money, by using the mayor as a political appointed figure. So we're using the political system to actually help us achieve this. We're using everything else that is currently set up, the laws, the courts, etc. We're not trying to escape it or trying to fight them. And because we're doing this, because we're creating a system that uses these tools of enslavement, but turning our community into an incredible success story of prosperity and abundance. First of all, every other community is going to try and emulate this, try and copy what we're doing, because they also want to be abundant and prosperous on every level, especially financially, and then all the other things. But what we're doing is we using the laws and the structures to actually help us to put this into place. Now, I don't have all the answers. I don't have a legal background. I don't understand how we will handle the tax. I have some very good ideas from many discussions with tax experts over the many years. I don't know how we're going to structure the business and the company and the different companies of the towns. We will decide that at the time when we do this, which is the most appropriate and specific setup structure, whether it's a non-profit company or whether it's a foundation or who knows. But the good thing is that we have very smart people. We have very, very clever people that know how to do all these things incredibly well. And generally speaking, they've been doing and performing these tasks for companies and big corporations that actually exploit the people or try and, hide this and hide tax and blah, 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 whatever they're doing. These people are out there and they're doing it very successfully and generally for the very large corporations. Well, by implementing and embracing the One Small Town plan of action, we're in essence turning our town of 5 or 10,000 people or more into a very powerful, large international corporation, because we'll have a company, the town in essence becomes a business. So we have that with many diverse businesses under that umbrella of the town. So we will have to use all the rules and the laws of setting up businesses and companies, etc., the flow of money, etc., in the best possible way. So is this a lawless society? Who's going to make the laws? Of course not. We're going to use the existing laws as one of the tools of enslavement to liberate us from those. Now, with this come all kinds of other smaller questions that fit into this big one. But whenever you find a question that you don't know how to answer, just think about the umbrella structure of our town, which is a large business that we own collectively, and then try and figure out for yourself how we as the people are going to do that. Now, let me remind you, if you haven't seen these other videos yet, we're not hijacking the town from the municipality and the mayor. In fact, the mayor in the countries where the mayor is appointed by the people, those are the countries where this is most likely to happen soonest. So when we've appointed the mayor, or the mayor has chosen to do this, first of all, the mayor will win the hearts and the minds of all the people. That the mayor has chosen, together with the council, to do something different for the town, to take aggressive steps towards bringing prosperity and abundance to their town. Now, separate from the, I don't want to use the word under because it's not under, it's separate to the mayor and the town council. Those are the politically appointed figures in our town. They're the spearhead for the One Small Town strategy, to attract the investors, to help structure certain things on a political, legal basis, because the mayor has all the rights and the privileges and the authority to do certain things. And together with the sheriff and various other members of the council, the mayor and the people of that town can set up a very powerful infrastructure that'll benefit the coming of the One Small Town initiative and how we start the various businesses. But separate from the town council and the mayor will be what I've been calling the Council of Elders. Now, the Council of Elders will be the council that actually speaks the will of the people. The mayor and the town council implement the will of the people, while the will of the people is voiced and spoken and brought to the mayor and the council through the Council of Elders. Now, the Council of Elders, I've always suggested that it'll be 13 people, and these people need to be the wisest, the most trusted individuals in our town. And there will be a system of voting, where it'll be a completely transparent system, so that everybody can vote for the Council of Elders. I'm going to talk about the Council of Elders and how we vote for them in a separate video, so I don't want to go off the tracks here. So, is this a lawless society? Absolutely not. We as the people will elect our Council of Elders. We'll decide what we want for our town, what we believe are the best businesses, which agriculture, which technology, engineering, healthcare, what do we feel we need as a community the most? And we'll take advice from specialists, from people that are experts in agriculture or engineering or building computers or curing cancer. We know where these experts are, so we'll bring those people in that'll sit and advise the Council of Elders. And the Council of Elders will then decide what we want to do. And then the mayor and the town council, the politically appointed town council, will then be tasked with the implementation of that. And if they do anything that we as the people don't like, the Council of Elders, through the voice of the people, once again will say, sorry, we don't want you to do that. You're going in the wrong direction. Come back, go this way. All right. So this is definitely not a lawless society. We use all the laws and the system and all the tools of enslavement of the system as a foundation to create a system that makes the current system obsolete. Now, it's not going to make the current system obsolete in our own town, but eventually, as thousands and hundreds of thousands of towns around the world start doing this, we will find that the towns will become incredibly powerful, because they'll become incredibly wealthy, they'll have technology, they'll have the complete unity of the people, and it'll become very difficult to overrule the will of the people of the town. Now, that again, I suppose, will be a video that we'll do a little bit later, but just try and internalize this. This is not a lawless society. We're certainly going to identify things and make basic laws. We'll create rules and laws for our town that fall within the existing legal structure of the community, of the town, of the country. Within the legal structure and system of the country, and the acts and the bills and bylaws and whatever, all that complicated mess that we have to face, we as the people, through our Council of Elders, will find different ways to make rules and laws that apply to our town. And that's probably the most important part of this explanation, is that the new laws and rules And really behavior, it's a behavioral model. It's what do we do if this happens? What do we do as a community if somebody does that? What do we do if somebody commits murder? Or what do we do, etc.? Now keep in mind that those laws will still be applicable. If somebody commits murder in our town, the police will come and investigate, and they'll find the culprit and deal with them in the current legal system that we don't have much control over. But what we do have control over are the businesses, how we run those businesses, and how we implement and integrate those businesses into our town. For example, we can create parks and recreation and caravan parks and so forth. And we as the people decide how to do that. We can decide whether we want to start a community college, or we want to start a sculpting school, or a horse riding school, or a recording studio, or whether we want to set up a movie studio, or build an athletics track so we can attract international athletes to our town. So we as a community will make those decisions that are the best decisions for our community. Those are decisions that can't be made by outside forces. Well, I guess they can, but we as a community will then decide how we're going to implement that. So I trust this gives you a slightly better idea that this is certainly not a lawless society. We work within the current legal system and all the other systems that are most often tools of enslavement that we are now going to start using to create abundance and prosperity for us, while we start creating new laws and rules and guidelines, how to behave and how to implement and do certain things in our town. So I trust that answers some of these questions. If you have more, put it at the bottom of the video, and or send me an email, and I will answer as many questions as I possibly can.